This particular tutorial is not related to any spreadsheet. It's just instructions on how to calculate and do the math when it comes to going from grams to kilcals and into percentages, or you're going to need to go from percent down to kilcals and grams. And so I'd like to show you how to go both directions. And I've got items that are not really food but just numbers to help you see how to calculate these out. So let me show you how this goes. If my lookup shows I have 20, 10, 20, then 20 times 4, because it's a carbohydrate, is 80, and 10 times 4, because it's a protein, is 40, and 20 times 9, because it is a fat, equals 180. And so these added across become 300. That's just one item, but in order to find percentages, we're going to have to add all of our items together, get the total kilcals for all three items, and we're going to be dividing each number by the big number, each number by the big number, and so forth to get these totals right here. These totals should come together and equal 100%. So let's look at my instructions right here. This is a very poor balance of macronutrients, which I did on purpose because we're going to correct that. And that's part of what you'll be learning in this class is how to make better choices and correct and balance your foods. So let's look and see how we got to those percentages just to be sure. So we have a total here, total kilcals for the day of eating after doing the math and adding the energy in. Okay, so we're going to start with fats first. So we know that the highest amount of fats by recommendation is 35%. So we're going to multiply our total kilcals by 35% to see what we should be eating. What is the range of fats that we should be eating? And we're going to understand that by percent, by kilcals, and by grams. So 959 times 35%, or 0.35, happens to equal 335. So let's do the math here. 959 times 0.35 equals 335, and you can just round to the nearest number, round up, round down, and that's what we get. So now we've got how many kilcals of fat we should eat at 35%, but now we need to know how many grams. Okay, so we have kilcals, and we're going to divide by 9, because for fat it's 9 kilcals per gram, and so dividing by 9 we get 37. So 37 represents how many grams of fat we should eat. So instead of eating 67 grams of fat that day for the amount of items we took in, we should have eaten 37. So let's do one more. So to find the corrected proportion of carbohydrates, and so in carbohydrates the recommendation is to eat between 45 and 65%. So again, we're going to start with 959, and we're going to multiply it by, we're just going to multiply by the top number so we know what is the total amount of carbs we should eat. So instead of eating 148 kilcals of carb, we should have eaten 623, quite a big difference. So in other words, really the fat and the carb intake was completely opposite. So then we're going to look and see, now that we know this is how many kilcals of carbs we should have eaten, we're also going to try to find out how many grams that equals. So let's take this number, since we have it already in here, and we're going to divide it by 4, because that's the number associated with carbohydrate, and we get 155. So now we know that this day it would have been better to have eaten 155 grams of carbs, and that would have equaled 623 kilocalories of carbs, which would have got us to our correct percentage of eating 65% that day. Okay, so you see here fats and carbohydrates. And for protein, you can see I have set it up for you right here. And what you would need to start with then, if you're going backwards from percent down into grams, is to know what is the correct recommendation for protein intake. Thank you.